Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys know what to do on Periscope. Swipe and invite. On Facebook Live. Share this broadcast. Good morning. Today we are going to talk about destiny and God's plans. Destiny and God's plans. We're going to talk about one of my most favorite scriptures in the Bible, which is to many, Jeremiah 29 and 11. But I'm going to read 29 and 11 through 13. And it reads as such. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. I'm also going to read an insert from Joyce Meyer's Bible, and then we're going to talk about Jeremiah 29:11. According to Jeremiah 29:11, God has a plan for each of us, a plan that should give us great hope for our future. It is our destiny. But that plan is a possibility, not a positively. If someone professes over our wonderful things in the name of the Lord, what they say to us may express the heart, the will, and the desire of God for our lives. God does have a plan for our lives, but we have to participate in that plan for it to come true. God is not likely to do anything in our lives without our cooperation. We have to do our part, guys. We need to cooperate with God every single day of our lives in order for our potential to be developed. Every day we ought to learn something. Every day we ought to grow. Every day we ought to discover something new. Every day we ought to be a bit further along than where we were the day before. We should be lifetime learners. Guys, this is not a marathon. This is a journey. Getting to your destiny is a journey. It's not a marathon. Good morning, Periscope. Good morning, those of you on Facebook. We must understand that no other human being on the face of the earth can develop our potential for us. We must each discover our own God-given gifts and talents, what we are truly capable of, and then put ourselves to the task of developing those gifts, talents, and capabilities to the fullest extent. Like I said when I first came on this morning, that this is one of my most favorite scriptures. And I'm going to break down Jeremiah 29 and 11 for you guys. The beginning says, for I know. That means God knows what's best for us. After all, He created us. So how can we argue with His word? The next word is know. He's the creator. He knows all things. Guys, He knows all things. He is the creator of us. He is the creator of the universe. He's the creator of everything that we do. Then it has the plans. God thinks of your plans at all times. He is constantly working on our behalf behind the scenes, guys. Even if we don't feel it, even if we don't know and we're doubting, He knows. He's a creator, so He's working out in your plans. The next part of the verse says, I have for you. The operative words here are I and you. God has all power. He has a unique master plan that He created just for you. The next part of the verse says, declares the Lord. His word does not return void. He said it, He spoke it, and it will come to pass. We just have to do our part. Then it says it plans to prosper you. Blessings of overflow, your inheritance of abundance is in his plans. If you want your inheritance of an abundance of an overflow pouring out, you have to attach to his plans. Again, as the word said that I read before, he will do these things and work on our behalf, but we have to do our part. The next part of the verse says, and not to harm you. God is our protector from calamity. When storms arise, he's there with us. He's there to lead and guide us through that calamity. It's not that these things won't happen and come up, but he's going to be there with us because it's a part of his plan. The next part of the verse at the end says to give you a hope and a future. God is consistently working in you. He's working on your strengths to fulfill the purpose that he has called for your life. You just have to trust him. You know, I like to use this little analogy when I think about it with God's direction and plan for our lives. Think about when we're going somewhere and we're traveling and you're unaware of where you're going and you use the GPS. Many of you who know me, if I get lost, I panic. Even with GPS, sometimes it will reroute you. If you're not following the directions, it will reroute you. It will turn you in circles. You will go a U-turn all the time. You know, the GPS in the world stands for Global Positioning System. That's meaning that it's positioning you for where you're needing to go to get to your destination. And when we don't follow it, that's what happens. The same applies in the spirit. I like to use GPS in the spiritual realm as God's provision and service. GPS, God's provision and service. The same applies here. When we don't listen and follow the directions that God has for us, we will get rerouted. We will hit a dead end. We will go into circles. We'll make a lot of U-turns. And it will take us longer to get to our destiny, or we don't reach our destiny at all because we want to get in the way. We want to do things our way instead of doing what Jeremiah 29:11 says. He's directing us, guys, and we have to be willing and be a participant in doing the directions and what he wants us to do, not what we want to do. So many of us want so many things to go on in our lives. There's so many places we want to go. There's so many things that we want to complete. There's so many tasks that we want to do. But we aren't willing to do the participation of following God's directions. His direction, guys, is so important that we follow it so we do not prolong what he has for us. That's all I have for you guys on today. In order for you to get to the destiny God has planned for you, you have to follow his plans. It says God has a plan for each of us. It's a good plan, an uncommon plan, a great plan. And it's not average. It's not mediocre. So I encourage you today to seek the plan and cooperate with God so that it will wonderfully fulfill your life. Use the correct GPS today, guys. God's provision and services for your life. Let us go before God in prayer. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time together, God. We thank you for your provision and your service over our lives. Clear every crooked way, oh God. Clear the pathway, oh God, so that we may follow your lead for the plans you have for our lives. May we not be so disobedient, so irrational, so emotional, so caught up, oh God, seeking provisions from this person and that person, but seeking it from you, the one true and living God who uniquely created and made us. May we sit at your feet, oh God, where we can get clarity and direction for every aspect of our lives. Make our thoughts clear. Make our minds clear so that we can see the path before us. Let us not keep hitting those dead ends or making U-turns or circling around, oh God. May we follow your provision for our lives. We just have to get out of the way. I thank you, oh God, for the journey that we are on. We thank you, oh God, on today that we realize it's not a marathon, but it's a journey. Move us the way you would have us to move us. Let us take those steps forward when you give us that push. Let us not go backwards. We know that, God, you are on the left, you are on the right, you are in the front, and you are behind us. You're on every side of us to push us and prod us in the direction that you would have us to go. Again, oh God, help us to get out of the way. Consume our minds and hearts and thoughts, oh God. We thank you for this day. We thank you for your provision. We thank you for the service in our lives. May we serve you in spirit and truth. May we be obedient to your will and to your way. We submit and surrender to all that you have in and through us, all that you want to do in and through us. We are walking with you on today. We seal this prayer with the blood of the Lamb, for it is so and so it is. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen. Thank you guys for joining me on this morning. We will be right back here tomorrow for day 10. Be intentional. Intentional about praying, intentional about fasting, intentional about spending more time in the presence of God. That's what this whole challenge is about. Taking and spending that extra time to be with God. We can't hear from God and have to learn the directions that he has for us when we're spending so much time distracted on everything else. Spend that time quietly, being still, hearing from God. I love you guys. Create yourselves a great day. Take care and God bless. Have a wonderful day. See you guys on tomorrow.